I am the archivist, and tonight we open another forgotten chapter. On August 19th, 1978, hundreds of people entered a cinema in Iran. They came for a movie, for laughter, for a few hours of escape. Before the night was over, they would be trapped inside a burning building. The city of Abadan was already on edge. Iran was boiling beneath the surface. Protests were spreading. Trust in the Shah's government was collapsing. But inside the cinema, life felt normal. Families gathered. Friends sat side by side. Children settled into their seats. The screen lit up. Then men entered the building carrying fuel. They moved quietly, deliberately. They poured it along the aisles, near the exits, across the floor. Then they locked the doors and they set it on fire. Within minutes, the cinema became a furnace. Flames spread faster than people could run. Smoke swallowed the room. Panic turned into desperation. People rushed the exits, but the doors would not open. Screaming, pushing, falling, burning, mothers clutched their children tightly, shielding them with their own bodies as the flames closed in. Fathers hurled themselves against locked doors, trying to break them open, trying to save their families. But the doors did not move. Children cried out in the dark, their voices fading into the smoke. Hands reached for windows that would not open. Breath turned to fire inside their lungs. In those final moments, there was no escape, only fear, only heat, only the unbearable realization that no one was coming in time. By the end of the night, at least 400 people were dead. The world would remember it as the Cinema Rex fire, one of the deadliest arson attacks in modern history. But the flames did not end there. They spread into the streets, into public anger, into the fate of an entire nation. Because almost immediately, one question emerged. Who did this? At the time, cinemas had already become targets. To some religious hardliners, they represented Western influence and moral decay. Several cinemas had been attacked before, but those had been empty. This time, it was full. Opposition groups accused the Shah's regime and its secret police of orchestrating the attack to justify repression. Others blamed extremist elements who had openly condemned cinemas as immoral. In a country already losing trust in authority, people believed what matched their fears. Outrage spread. Funerals turned into protests. Protests turned into revolution. Within months, the monarchy collapsed. But the truth did not become clearer with time, only more complicated. After the revolution, new trials were held under the Islamic Republic. Then came the confessions. A man named Hossein Takbalizadeh admitted in court that he had taken part in the attack. He confessed not because he felt guilt, but because he could no longer bear watching others receive credit for what he believed was the ultimate act of sacrifice for Islam. He described how he and others deliberately set the fire using flammable materials. He claimed they were driven by religious beliefs, that cinemas were corrupting society and had to be destroyed. He also said he was not acting alone, and that others involved were never fully identified. Takbalizadeh and several others were convicted and executed. But even those confessions did not settle everything. The trials took place in a highly charged political environment. Questions remained about fairness, about missing names, about whether the full network behind the attack was ever exposed. For some, the confessions proved extremists were responsible. For others, they were incomplete. Answers shaped by power rather than truth. And so, the story fractured. Even today, The Cinema Rex fire remains not just a tragedy, but a mystery entangled in politics, ideology, and history. Because what happened that night is only part of the story. What came after may be just as important. The victims did not simply die in a fire, they became symbols. Their deaths were used, interpreted, and argued over in the struggle for power. Because sometimes people do not only die in tragedy, they are turned into weapons afterward. I am the archivist, and the past remembers. If you enjoy forgotten history and stories the world should never forget, subscribe. And join me for the next chapter.